الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى اللهم على سيد المرسلين حبيب إله العالمين الذي سمي في السماء بأحمد وفي الأرضين بأبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين سيما بقية الله في الأرضين روح وأرواح العالمين لتراب مقدمه الفداء أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Samahani, you had me last week and you have me this week again. Inshallah, that these sessions are useful. Last week we began a discussion. Saying that the words of the Imam, the ahadith from the Imam, the munajat, the dua that we have from the Imam, they have multiple benefits, and there are reasons why the Imams would focus on these duas, these munajat. And we mentioned that there are some benefits, and we mentioned one of those benefits, two of those benefits, is that one, that these du'as, these munajat help us understand how an abd is supposed to communicate with his Lord. It teaches us the art of communication. That when the Imam says these certain words, he's teaching us how to express ourselves toward the Lord. Or he says, Allahumma inni as'aluka bi rahmatika allati wasi'at kulla shay. It's a reminder to us that, first of all, this is the ilah. It's Allah who is rahmah, is wasi'at kulla shay. And then there's this expression of humility in front of that Lord. It says, Allahumma, I express toward you, Allahumma, I accept that I'm low and you're high and I'm coming back toward you. This was the first point we had mentioned. The second point that we mentioned was, not only does it remind us and teach us how to communicate with Allah, it also teaches us certain realities. Through the dua we learn realities. So we mentioned the example of Dua Kumail where Imam Ali teaches us and he tells us of the realities of the dhunub, of the dhanb. It says, Allahumma ghfir li al-dhunub allati tahtiku al-asam wa tughayyiru al-ni'am wa tunzilu al-niqam wa tahbisu al-du'a. These are realities of the dhanb, what the sins do. I don't want to repeat this because we mentioned it last week. I just want to go through it quickly. Then we entered and we began to talk about Munajat Taibeen. Said it's one of those Munajat Khamsa Ashar of Imam Sajjad alayhi salam. The first was Munajat Taibeen. And Imam Sajjad begins with this line, Allahumma. It starts with Ilahi. Ilahi albasatni al-khataya thawba madallati. And we say that this first statement, this first word, Ilahi, is an expression of the return toward Allah. And Ayat Tahriri says that when a person is in this state of tawbah, returning toward Allah, he's in a very holy state. And this state only comes about when a person enters a certain level of realization. When he recognizes that I am the abd, that's the Lord, He created me, He sustains me, and my need is toward Him, not other than Him, not the likes of me, no, my need is toward Him. And when he realizes this, he has the potential to enter into that state of tawbah. It's interesting, he says it here and he says something similar to it later. He says that a person has the ability to enter into the state of tawbah. If a person gets this realization, but he turns himself away, he's missed out on entering into that state of tawbah to be able to return toward Allah. See, shaitan will be everywhere with you. Yeah? He's made a promise to Allah. He'll be everywhere. So even when a person enters into that realization, even when he has the knowledge of it, it becomes difficult for him to go and get into that path. See, this path is actually a true path. This is sometimes we might assume or imagine this path to be some figment of our imagination or something that we feel. No, this is a true path. There is a path toward Allah. The insan was created to go toward Allah. The soul doesn't have the capacity to bear this life, the life which is low. No, the soul desires so much. the desire of the insan is infinite. He wants everything. If he can get everything, he wants everything. But where can you find this everything? He'll go toward the dunya and he will find everything. It's like the salt water example, right? You go toward the dunya, you drink that salt water, you never get quenched. That true quenching liquid, or that true quenching wine, if you would like to say. The poets would use these words, in fact. And you look at olden poetries, they would express going toward Allah as though they're drinking from a glass or a cup in which there is wine which is intoxicating. Intoxicating, which intoxication? This intoxication where a person is now drowning in that tawheed of Allah. Not this intoxication of bars and pubs and these sort of alcoholic drinks. No. This is when a person realizes that the dunya is not there to satisfy. No, the satisfaction is truly with Allah. And he goes toward Allah. But for this path, there are lots of requirements. A person needs to increase himself in his knowledge, needs to find an ustad to go with him into this path, somebody who has already been in this path, learn from him. A person who knows Islam correctly, who is able to take a person into this path. The first statement that Imam Sajjad says is ilahi. It's the expression of this tawbah. And then we mentioned that this expression of neediness toward Allah is an important thing. And we said that the Imams will even do this. So one is in this expression, in the du'as where the Imam will say ilahi, will say Allahumma, say Mawlaya ya Mawla. Or no, even in the state, in actions. We mentioned that Imam Hassan alayhi salam, when he would do wudu, what would happen? His face would change color, his body would tremble. And when he was asked, why do you do this? Imam Hassan says, this is the correct way an abd is supposed to be. Habibi, you're going toward the Lord, Rabbul Arsh. You're going toward the Lord of the world. You're going to the Creator. This is how you're supposed to be. Obviously, that's in that state. That's in that status. For us, knowing and reminding ourselves that this is our Creator is more than enough. Ilahi al-basatni al-khataya thawba madallati. We mentioned all the way till khataya, and we mentioned a few points about khataya itself. I want to mention one last point in this first statement. We might not reach the second statement. Let's just mention this one last person, first statement. It says, thawba madallati. There is this cloak of humiliation, of indignity that comes upon me whenever there's a khataya that I do. Whenever there's any sort of turning away from you, there's the loss of connection from you, this cloak of indignity comes on, or this cloak of humiliation comes on. The nature of the dhunub, the khataya, the mistakes, in our case, the sins, is that the more they are, the more this abd now has a distance from Allah. The more this person is now far from Allah. But this dhillah, this humiliation that's mentioned in the dua, Atta Tahrir says that this could be of two types. See, there's a time when a person feels and enters into the state of humiliation, of indignity. He can take that into two ways. He can channel that into two possible ways. He says there's once that this dhillah is mamduh, that it's praiseworthy. You praise the person for entering into this state. When is that? He says that's when a person realizes his Lord. He recognizes his Lord. He recognizes his own place in this world. And he feels humiliated in front of the Lord because of his own place in this world. He feels humiliated that he deviated away from him or lost that pure connection from him. And he uses this, he realizes his Lord. He feels that humility. He uses this, he channels it back to get toward Allah. This one he says, this is mamduh, this is praiseworthy. This person was able to channel it back and go toward Allah. But no, there is a place where not only does a person experience that humiliation, or he experiences something, but this is madhmoom. Which one is madhmoom? It says that he doesn't realize that his Lord is Allah. He doesn't realize this reality. He doesn't recognize it. And so what happens? What happens is that instead of going toward the one who can quench his thirst, instead of going toward the one who he is truly needy of, he goes towards the others like himself. He goes towards somebody else who is also faqir ilallah. And when that person is faqir ilallah, he'll go toward him. And he'll express humility in front of that person. He'll express that humility that he was supposed to express toward the Creator who is the true giver. No, he will go and express it towards somebody else. This one he says, no, this is madhmum. This person is not praiseworthy. He's reprehensible instead. Then he says, let's look at something tangible. What happens when a person is in the state of dhillat mamduh? When this person is in a state of humility, and this humility is praiseworthy. He says, what happens is that this person begins to now express it in his life. You see it. Obviously, when a person is trying to express this humility in his life, he reaches certain bumps and he needs to learn how to express it correctly. These are different things. But you see it in his life. Where, he brings one example. Before that, I'm going to mention a few things. Where you see it in his life, everywhere. When he's having food, you'll see him obeying Allah. He'll have certain foods. He will not do israf. No, when you see him with his friends, you'd see that this person is the one that respects his friends because they're the makhluq of Allah. And he knows that his friends have rights, so he keeps those rights. He doesn't do riba, or he doesn't slander behind their backs. He doesn't do any oppression. With his servants, he's just. He gives them their due wage. He's not oppressive with them. See, he's expressing that reality. He has come into a state where he realizes that that is my Lord. My Lord has given me commandments, I will follow it. Wherever the commandment is. The reality of Islam is that it's a way of life. So in his life, you'll see it. With his family, he's merciful. He's careful. He's caring. With his imam, he's obedient. In banking and loaning and all of these different furu, wherever Allah has said X, he'll do X. Says Y, he'll do Y. Becomes an abd. At-Tahrir says that one thing you can see from this person in the state of the mamduh, where this is a praiseworthy humility, says this person realizes that he is in front of the giver. He realized that there's a ni'mah that was given to him. There's a blessing that was given to him. And when he realizes this blessing that was given to him, he knows that it was given by the true giver. He knows it was given by Allah. And so what does he do? He expresses humility toward the giver. He thanks the giver. He expresses humility toward the giver. He recognizes that blessing, he appreciates it, he uses it correctly, and he thanks the giver who gave it to him. Is it just him? No. Even the wasila that was used to give him that, will also thank him. How? And we see this in our daily lives as well. A person helps us financially, we thank them. A person helps us, he gets us a glass of water, for example, we thank them. Does that mean suddenly now, oh, I believe that this person who helped me financially is in fact my raziq? No, Baba. That's not my raziq. Is he the wasila? Yes. So I thank him. Why should I thank him? Is he my raziq? No. Is Allah my raziq? Yes. Do I have to thank him? No. So why should I thank him? Imam Zainul Abidin says that on the day of judgment, Allah will ask his servants, be like, did you thank Fulan? Did you thank this person? And this person will say, Ilahi, I thanked you. You're my Lord. I thanked you. So where Allah will tell him, Lam tashkurni idh lam tashkurhu. If you don't thank him, you haven't thanked me. Forget about it. He's a wasila. He's muqaddas. Allah has used him to get this thing toward you. Does that mean suddenly now, oh, I worship him? No. But do I thank him? Yes. In fact, not only is it, in fact, not something that's in the hadith, it's something fitri, it's something aqli. We do it anyway. Somebody gives us something, we say thank you. Even it's as simple as antazan. Simple, thank you. We still do it. It's a fitri thing. Does that mean suddenly now oh, this is my Lord? No, Baba. That's not how it works. The wasila is such that the blessings of Allah will come down through him. And sometimes there are certain individuals, certain personalities that through them we can go back to Allah as well. So the days of Arba'in are coming closer. And through these, and in these nights of Ashra Zainabiyah, we are again, same thing that happened in Muharram, same thing that happens in the Hijjah, same thing that happens in Ramadan, something that happens in Sha'ban. We're again reminded of Allah. We're reminded of the people who serve Allah. Whether it's Ibrahim on the day of Hajj, or no, it's Imam Hussein in Karbala, or no, it's Sayyidah Zainab in the Ashra that we'll remember, inshallah. We're remembered of these people who served Allah, were wasila of Allah, and we can use their inspiration, we can use their wasila, and we can go back, take this rope and take it all the way back up. How? One of the important parts is to know that personality first, to know the wasila first. We know the wasila, then we can go and we can approach them. The second is also through these du'as. Then there's the person who is madhmoom. This person who says that he has this humility, but he's not praiseworthy here. Why? He knows that there's a ni'mah, but instead of thanking this giver, he sins. So he says this sinning, this disobedience, what is it? He says it's a bold claim. So what sort of claim is this? It's a bold claim that what you are and what I am, I'm greater than you. It's a bold claim against Allah. It says this person is not only acted against his own fitrah, that when somebody gives you express gratitude, is not only acted against it, he's acted against it in front of the true giver. Completely against it. These sins that this person will then commit will then humiliate him further in the status of Allah, will take him away further in the status of Allah, from closeness to Allah. And as he grows this distance, maybe he'll realize that he has made a distance and he has caused a distance because of his sins. But the doors of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are vast, and tawbah and istighfar and the possibility to be an abd is always available for the insan. See, at the end of the day, the verse says, إِنَّمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسِ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونِ. The hadaf, the goal of the abd was to be an abd. Hadaf, the goal of the insan was to be an abd. How does he be an abd? He obeys the Lord. Sometimes we make it very complicated. What's the abd? A slave, a servant. What does a servant do? He obeys. Habibi, there's nothing else. There's nothing else to it. Allah says X, I'll do X. Allah says Y, I'll do Y. Chash. This is what you see in Karbala as well. When the time came to give away the life, I'll give away the life. Give away the sons, I'll give away the sons. Give away the property, I've given away the property. Give away X, I'll give away X. Abu Abdullah's giving away was, you won't find another one like him. So as Zainab Salamullah alayha says that Ma ra'aytu illa jamila. There was ubudiyah in these actions. It was pure ubudiyah. There was nothing but ubudiyah in it. There was nothing but servitude. Inshallah, we pray to Allah to make us from His special servants and to grant us the blessings and the attention of His wasila, and grant us His blessings and closeness to Him through His wasila. And in these nights, and as brothers and sisters go toward Arba'in, so they're able to make use of that proximity to Abu Abdullah, take his wasila, and inshallah get proximity to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.